My camera is kind of like blurry, but please just manage it with me. My name is Odona Jolua Shayo Juliana. You can call me Shayo, you can call me Juliana. I go back to them. And okay, I'm a product designer. I don't know where Kate saw the magnificent stuff that he's saying, but I've been in the field for 3 years, and so I've been in tech since 2016, tech generally, and then I transitioned from a front end developer to a product designer because front end was stressing my life, and I believe that what actually brought me to tech generally is my flair for design. Because I remember then when I want to like code something out, I would bring out my notes and start sketching out stuff. And then I got introduced to the field, and so far so good. Okay, so I'm working at Aspire Power Solutions as a product designer. I've worked in other places before that. I've worked in TM30, I've worked in Omnibees, I work in Academy and so on. And I've done quite a number of projects, just side gigs and all this. So we know how we do it in Nigeria. To keep your body and soul together, you need to get projects. Okay, so I will share my screen and then we'll go through the breakdown of what we'll be learning in the bootcamp today. Today and to the end of the bootcamp, the breakdown. And then after that, we'll run a quick quiz, which Emmanuel will be posting the link for us. Then from there, we know where we'll continue. Just a heads up, today is purely going to be a lot of theory. So I want you to open your mind because before you actually start going on your Figma or whatever design tool that you want to use, you want to make sure that you have the elementary knowledge. It's not just about making colors, combining colors and putting rectangle and triangle and circle together. You have to know the mind behind what you are doing because that's the perfect way to learn, or else you create more problems for yourself than the solution that you want to do. I will share as I'm teaching us some things. I will try and share my experiences with you about where it goes wrong and when I got it right, the problem that I faced and all those stuff. With you, if you have any question, I wouldn't appreciate so much interruption. Just like Katya suggested, you can raise your hand, and if I see it, fine. If not, Emmanuel will be providing a link also for you to ask your question, so that after the session, I will attend to them at once, and so that we don't interrupt ourselves and we can maximize the time that we have. So I will share my screen now, and then we go to the breakdown together. Okay, yeah, cool. So I prepared this little breakdown. I only hope that we can surpass our expectations to be candid about what we are looking for. But this is just the breakdown that I have for us. So we have 4 days. Today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's what we have. I believe that we've been invited to the Google Meet link, or we will be invited. So for day 1/day 2, we won't be able to cover everything on day 1. That's why I put /day 2 so that we can split over to the next one, to the next day, and then to give us, we won't have so much information ahead that we'll not be able to comprehend. So today, which is the /Friday, we'll go to introduction to UI UX design, and then we have the second one is US core concept to the rules and terminologies and UX design. We have design thinking process, and we have introduction to user research and introduction to wireframing, visual designing, and prototyping. And the takeaway after this part of the bootcamp is that we'll be formulating a research plan for a real life project that we'll be doing together. We'll formulate the research plan and we'll conduct the user research. And then day 2/day 3, we'll go to user research, the methods and the best practices. And then the number 2, we'll go to UI principles and laws, actually. And then the third one is high fidelity prototyping, the high fidelity design and its prototype, how to prototype very well. An introduction to usability testing. Usability testing is after you design it, you take it to the front of your potential users or target audience and let them give you what they think about it. That's just usability testing. And then day 3/day 4, we'll go through introduction to emotional design, usability testing in depth, and how to write a US case study and how to measure US metrics. And the last one is how building a design portfolio. So you may be thinking like this is going to be like a really bulky class. Yes, you're right. And but aside that too, you'll be doing a lot of the work while will also be available for you. Because how to learn design generally is not by talk. If it's actually by talk, some of you will be watching YouTube video by now. But it's not by talk, it's about doing it yourself and bringing it to reality. And that is how you learn. And that is mostly what you'll be doing in the class. I will explain part of it for you, and then you will I will explain. Then you go ahead and do the task that is that accompanies that. So, but before I go on per se, I want us to quickly do a quiz. So, and the question is, what is your level of design, your experience level in design generally? So, Ibano will be dropping the link for us, and then I just want to know, I want to have a general knowledge on the set of people actually teaching. So I don't start blowing design grammars for you, and you don't understand. So, Emmanuel, please can you quickly create a quiz for
Yes, I'm currently on that.
yeah, design. Thank you. You can give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your design experience?
Okay.
What's the level of design experience? Why is doing that? I will kind of pull up my day 1 lesson here, and we're ready to go. And also, I want you to know that after the class, for today, we have like 4 tasks, which you can actually do like in the class, or you can do it like an assignment for what we'll be doing. But we have like 4 tasks, and then the document will be available for everyone after the class. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen while we wait for Emmanuel to finish up. Okay. Emmanuel, was the update?
Just a minute. I'm working on it.
Okay, fine. When you are done creating it and you send the link, I want you to share your screen, the presentation, so that we can see the real life metrics. I will give that 5 minutes for us to do that, and then we can continue.
Okay, cool.
Present it. Please don't forget to present, like on the Slido.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, what is doing that? So what we'll be doing today, what we're going through today, is going to be a lot of theoretical aspects, right? It's going to be like the first one is introduction to UI UX design, and then the second one is US core concepts, the rules and the terminologies that we use, and then the last one is introduction to UX process. Introduction to UX process. If I would have renamed it, I would have renamed it like design process, which is like the same thing. I'll just leave it for now. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's just continue. I really want to manage to finish up with that course before I continue, so I have a general knowledge.
All right. So they can join using the link. I posted the link in the chat section. So I could now share my screen.
All right. Thank you. Please.
Yeah.
I'll just give 5 minutes for that. I mean, 5 minutes is too much. Let's quickly jump on it and rate ourselves, our design experience, please. The link is in the chat box. We have about 2 minutes for that. You can share your screen, Emmanuel.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can say. Okay, we have 7 people and we have like 24 people on this call. At least I'm expecting like 20. Okay, 2 more minutes. Okay, please. I don't know why some people are not actually rating themselves. Do you think you're zero? I think there's zero there too. So if you think you're zero or you think you're one, I don't even think you can be zero. At least you've heard of design before. So you can give yourself one if you don't think that. So I just want as many as possible to vote. Please. Please, please. Okay. We have banners here. I'm seeing 9. God. What am I doing? I don't even raise myself 9. Some people should be the one taking the class here, to be candid. I shouldn't be the one because I consider myself around. Then let me say. So let's just continue. 1 more minute, please. 1 more minute. I'm expecting like 20 people, please. At least that's the least I'm expecting. We have 18, 2 more to go. Okay, I don't know why others are not doing it. Is there any difficulty with doing it, please? Okay, so from this we have 17 people. No. 17%, which is about, I don't know what that is. I did not study mathematics very well. Okay, so we have 17% rate themselves 1, 11% 2, 17 3, 6 4, 5, 6 people, 6% rate themselves 5, 11% rate themselves 6, 0 people rate themselves 7. Okay, and then we have 22% rate themselves 8, Okay, I think this should be like a master class instead of like a kickstart, because you have a lot of Googles here, and I look forward to learning from you as well. And then we have 11% rate themselves 9 and 0% rate themselves 10. And well, I was expecting the 10 because somebody wants to ask me that they know everything, even though some people know everything about design. Okay, so thank you so much about that. So I believe that we're in like a middle ground. I will try and blow my grammar, but I will try to explain it as much as possible. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thanks so much. Okay, so I will go back to my screen. Okay, so what is design? What is design is the first thing that you need to actually understand, because there are a lot of design, right? We have architectural design, we have this a lot of design, rules and something. With design rules and how they define design today. But there's one thing I want to establish is that God is a designer to me. It's more of like a product designer to me, because he like put everything in place, like this should do this work, this should do this, or this should do this work. So sounding like a product designer to me, agreeably. And design is just the science of creating things. As simple as that. No matter any area you are using the word design, it's just the science of creating things from inception to delivery. So creating may not be in form of starting it from scratch. It may just be creating an experience, adding something to what you already have, removing something to what you already have. That is just what design is. It's just the science of creating things from the inception of that idea in your head or in someone else's head, to delivering what the problem the person wants to solve. So it's not actually like you're trying to solve it the way the way you think of it. You know the problem, and then you have this proposed solution in your head. But design is not about the proposed solution, it's about a solution. It's about the solution. The solution that is actually solving the problem that you have. So it's like from inception to delivery. That's just design. Everything is designed. Everything is designed, either poorly designed or excellently designed or something. Everything is designed, from your laptop to your charger to your phone to your bed to anything that you want to think about, to your cupboard. um you hear people saying that the person that did this thing is not thinking at all. That is like a poor design. It's actually designed like the clothes that you wear is designed to know that you may want to wear it from your head, because if you wear it from your leg, it can tear the clothes. So it's like everything is designed. So the aspect of it is poorly designed or excellently designed is another topic on its own. But I want you to have this behind your mind that everything is designed. And as a designer, you should as a designer generally, you should have that at the back of your mind. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I'll be inside church and I'll be looking at the arrangement of chair. I'll be like, oh, this one should be like 1 pixel to the front, and this one should be 1 pixel to the back, and something like that, because of the way I've created design in my head. Like I believe design should be intuitive and stuff. So if it's not aligning, that's a problem, and it's not this. So I believe everything is design, as I've said, and we should have that at the back of our mind as a designer, even as we go on in this class, right? So design is a broad stream of subjects, and is not limited to just UI UX design. When someone say I'm a designer, it is not immediately clear what they actually do day to day. So if someone just walk up to you, what do you do? I'm a designer. You may want to ask for that question, that which kind of designer are you? Are you a product designer? Are you an architect? Are you graphic designer? A lot of designer, information designer, service designer. It's going to be part of your task, excuse me, and you want to go and look at that later. And there are numerous pillars of responsibility that together hold design upright. Numerous. Within any concept or space, design is a way for us to deliver deep meaning to our customer through experiences with crafts. So in any concept or in any space that we are using design, that want to use the term design is actually to deliver deep meaning. So when you think about an architect saying that this is a good design, it's talking about, okay, this design is first of all beautiful, and it's actually helping the people that are living inside that building to actually like have everything they have and be able to easily move from one place to the other. And when you say that a product design, like maybe an app is a good, the design is very nice, it's not just about the look or the color, it's about the experience too. Where the button should be, where the text should be. It's easy for you to find an action. It's fast for you to perform a task and all the stuff. That's so in any space, in any concept, design is a way to deliver deep meaning to our customer through the experiences we craft. Through the experiences we craft. So design is a process of creating machines, interactive systems, buildings, vehicles, software objects. It is user centered. So design also in any concept should be user centered. That means you are considering the people that are actually using it. That is what design is. You should be user centered. Users are at the heart of any design. So when you are doing your design, either you are sketching it or you are doing it on your Figma page or something, you should have this in mind that it is user centered, and users are at the heart of the design. It is about creating solutions for people, physical items, abstract systems, to address a need or to solve a problem. So design is not actually about like solving a problem the way a set of people think it should be solved. It's about solving that problem, and it's covering like 90%. The solution is covering like 90% of the problem for everybody. We still get to where we get to do advertising and other stuff. I will talk about extreme cases in designs and accessibility and other stuff, but I just want to keep to the side of the bargain for the today at art. So before I continue, I quickly have a question for us, and I will give like 3 people opportunity to quickly tell me what they think. So there's this misconception about what UI design is, what UX design is, and product design. So is there anybody here? You can raise your hand. Is there anybody here that wants to give me a quick run through of the difference between UI design, UX design, and product design? As fast as possible. I'll just take like 3. I'm waiting, or I'll be forced to call anybody. So no, okay. Funnel, CEL, can you go for it? Yes.
Okay. What I understand by UI design, UX design, and then product design. Okay, when we talk about the UI, we're talking about the experience, the user, the interface, how to design the interface. For instance, when you talk about a car, how does the car look? How the car is supposed to? How does the car function? Either rather, how does the car
Is that
function?
UI that you're talking about?
Yes, that's the UI.
Okay.
Yes. How does the car function? The beauty, that is the door, the steering, and all those ones. Then
Okay.
when you talk about the UX, you're talking about the engine. You're talking about what it is supposed to be. Okay, if there's a key, what's the function of this key? Is this key supposed to start the car or open the car? Or yeah, is it supposed to open the boot? Stuff like that, or the handle, or what this chair, is it supposed to be in front or is it supposed to be at the back? What's the function? Is this the driver? So then about the product design, I don't really know, but I know that the product design is how the final look of the design, both the UI and the UX put together. That's what's called product design. That's what I think.
Okay. Thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you so much. Johnson.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I love to talk about UI and UX. Okay, for me, I'd say UI basically is nothing so much. UI is about the interface, about, should we say now, abstracting what happens at the back end, the behind, just making sure that people have something to see. That's the interface. And you could tell me to be the look
Okay.
of yeah, or the product. And the user experience has to do with basically the feel, the experience of the user, how the user tends to feel when he goes through, when he engages a product, or when he engages your work. It has to do with the feel, the aesthetics. It has to do with how that product would eventually solve the problem on ground. Then product design for me, I would say it has to do with it's a holistic thing. Product design covers everything that has to do with from the development of the idea,
Okay.
uh, putting it into perspective, even down to the delivery. So you give the product an identity, basically. So for me, I feel that's the little I can say about it.
Thank you so much. That's only two. Thank you. Elizabeth, you were raising your hand. I don't know. I think you dropped off.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So just a quick one, and to be very, very what's it called, explanatory to people who really don't understand product design. I would say UI, as the acronym goes, is user interface. So this basically has to do with the interface that users see. For instance, let's say when you just get into a website, the first thing you see, just like the aesthetics of every web page you see on the internet, that's what basically is referred to as the user interface. What the users can see, you get. Then our user experience, which is the UX, talks about the feel of the website, like the functionality, what a particular function does on the website. Let's say, for instance, clicking a button, having to uh, go to a particular page, or just basically doing a particular function on the website is what our user experience means. Then when you talk about product design basically has to do with these two things combined together: the user interface and then the user experience. So you hear people saying, I'm a product designer, I'm a user interface designer, I'm a UX designer. So these are like three major different fields that people actually put themselves into. So you can be a UI designer, you can be a UX designer, and you can also be a product designer. So product designer is all about understanding the concept of all the concepts of UI and as well as user experience from the inception phase, um, from the ideation phase down to the inception phase. So basically, I think that's what it means.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excellent. That's you people are brilliant. So let me just bring my own little addition to it about what UI and UX design means. So you've said basically, or I'm still going to go in depth into what UI UX is. But there's UI designer, there's UX designer, there's UI UX designer, and there's product designer. There are four different fields. Not totally different, but the explanation. I wrote that the line between UI and UX is a pretty thin one. Is a digital thing that is arguably one of the most discussed issues in recent times. Arguably. So let me just give you a run through before I go in in depth into what UI UX design means and the difference between them. UI is about the feel, the look, everything colorful, shining, buttons, fonts, design elements, tabs, snaps, and all those stuff. That's UI design. UX design is about the button should be here, the stuff should be there. You don't want to stress them. You want to make an order, take them straight to the carts, all those stuff. Anything that has to do with the experience, that's UI. That's UX design. And UI UX design is a combination of both. But there's a little bit of salt, spice that you add to UI UX design that makes it a product design. Everything in UI UX design is under product design. There's just some little addition to it. The first one is that UI UX design is about the usability of the of a product. Why product design is about the usability plus you are adding business to it, the business mind. Let's say for instance now, UI UX designer designed a page for cat page with this is the thing that you ordered for plus 156 quantity and this is the amount and all those stuff. Is there a product designer that will come into that cat page and add a little bit of spice, be like order $50 worth of item more and you get free or free delivery? That is like the product design. That is having a sense of business when you are designing your product. It's UI UX design with a little bit of design and also a little bit of ensuring the delivery of your design. So that's a little bit of project management, product management. That means you already designed the interface and you want to give the developers everything that they need to give you exactly what you designed. So you make sure that you are doing the QA of your design. Okay, this is not how the button is supposed to react. The button is supposed to bounce up, and all that. So you're just like adding a little bit of business and a little bit of product management into UI UX design. That's what product design is. So if you want to do product design very well, you have to have the business mind that as much as this product is for users to enjoy themselves and to perform their tasks as easily as possible, we also want to make money and we want to like do a lot of little things that will push them to stay more on the on our product. And also Cowrywise is doing something that you can be a fairy fox or it can be something to me, something that's like they're having gamification to it. That's the business mind. They want you to save more. They already created the whole product for you to be able to save, but they're adding that little spice to it so that you save more. And that's like the business mind, which you can add to a UI UX designer that can make you a product designer. So you have to have that business mind and a little bit of product management. That is what product design is. That's why it's different from UI UX design, which you guys already touched. So let's not go in depth into what it is. So first talk about UX design. So number one, I need to tell you that in Nigeria, you may not actually be making money if you are not doing UI UX together or you are not doing product designer. So if I want to be a UI designer or I want to be a UX designer, you may not be making a lot of money, especially UX design. I don't think there's even a market for it in Nigeria. Because who is interested in you doing research, going from one place to another, gathering requirements and other stuff? You have to be able to combine it so that they will pay you very well. But you can spend you can make a change. You can do an agent of change and be a UX designer. There are some people like that. Okay, so what is UX design? UX is user interface. User experience rather is the interaction and the experience user have with a product or service. It is the process by which a pain point or user need is identified and considers the user's entire journey to solve a particular problem, what steps they should take, what tasks they should need to complete, how straightforward is the experience. Anything that has to do with the experience that they have. That is why we have our school websites, university websites are always horrible, but you are still able to use it because they are more focused on the UX that they want you to be able to. So they can create like 20 links together, link 1, link 2, link 3, to 20 because they want you to be able to see everything at a glance. That is that they have the UX, but they don't have the UI, of course. So anything that has to do with the experience, the entire journey from solving a problem, what step they take, what tasks they need to complete, and all the stuff. That is what UX is. Knowing who the target audience are, how to make the experience with your product the most rewarding or delightful it can be, is the responsibility. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, is the responsibility of the UX team. You have to make sure it is rewarding and delightful. You have to make sure the experience as a UX designer, as such, functionality, usability, user adaptability, retainability rank high in the priority for the product. Retainability, to be precise, is one important stuff in the table of a UX. We must be able to retain your user. Let's say, for instance, I don't know how many people have watched Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is one movie like that. You get it's very long. It's about a product called Pied Piper. So at the stage in that Pied Piper, they already did a lot of rigorous work to make sure that it's like a compressing tool like the Dropbox or something, but it's more powerful. So at some point they designed it was really nice and all those stuff, and people were registering to like 500,000 users in a matter of months, but they could not retain the users because the user came maybe because of the way they are putting it to their face, art and all those stuff, but they are not able to come back because they did not see the essence of the app. I know some of us have some app on our phone that we heard about it and then we downloaded it and then we checked it and maybe you are confused or you don't see the essence and then you are not using it again. So as a UX designer, you should have this retainability on your table, must recognize in your priority when you are designing, when you're a UX designer, that must be able to retain your consumer. That retainability comprises of they know what they are doing. It's easy for them to be able to do it. They don't stress themselves. It's functional. They are not clicking the button 24 times before they know that the button is already working. You understand? Maybe when they click the button, you put the loading so that they know that something is happening, something is cooking. All those little experiences are very important, and I rank I in priority for UX designer. UX designer generally focus on the development of digital products, but the theory and process can be applied to just about anything. These are their deliverables. They do contextual analysis, customer analysis, product structure and strategy, content development. Content development also fall under UX designers because they have to make sure that what is designed, they are able to communicate it through words and UX copy and other stuff. Execution, coordination with UI UX designers, coordination with developers. They have to track goals and integration. You have to be able to measure metrics that okay, this thing was giving us 100 users before, and when we made this change in the experience, we have 40% increase in the number of people that are signing up. That is tracking goals and integration, analyzing and iteration. Iteration is okay, we've done it, we review it, it has an error, we go back, we review. That is iteration. And analysis of your user research, of course. I don't know if we are if you are clear about what I just said about UX design. Can you just drop like emoji on the chat so I know that we're together?
Seems I'm the only one in the chat. Please, everyone, you can make use of the chat section. Maybe drop your reactions,
Oh,
emojis,
okay.
or questions at
Yeah,
times.
the favorite emoji, yes or
Yeah.
something, just to make sure that we're together. Okay. Just to people that understand everything I've just said. Okay. Still expecting more reaction though. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Silicon Valley is very interesting though. Okay. I believe I will just take that as proceed for what we have currently. Okay, so we move to what UI design is. What UI design is. And then after I've explained what UI design is, we take another question. So let me quickly send the question to our moderator so that you can help us create it ahead. Okay, so we go to UI design. What is UI design? It's not the opposite of UX design, no. It's not your opposite of UX. It's a complement of UI design. It's a complement of UX design, and sometimes people confuse them for each other. In fact, I've confused them for each other in my life at one point. I still confuse them for each other because they have some intertwined responsibility that is like general to both of them. But UI design, which is user interface design, is the specific assets user interacts with. It considers all the visuals, illustrations, any elements, the toggle, the input fields, the buttons, the icons, and other stuff of a product interface, including buttons, icons, spacing, typography, color schemes, and responsive design, including all the individual screens and touch points that the user might encounter, tapping a button, scrolling down a page, swiping through image gallery. So let me explain this. So UI design, also inside of it, there's something called interactive design under UI design. That means you are going to make sure that all the flow are taken care of. That means that if I click a button, I should have a loader. If I click a button, I should have this. When they've not filled out the form, the button should be disabled. When they swipe through the page, the something should be dancing. When they swipe through image gallery, when they click an image, it should pop up like a big image. When they click a video, it should bring out like a model for video, and when they click this, it should bring. So a UI design will take care of everything visuals. That is after getting the requirements from a UX designer. Like, this is what we want to accomplish. This is the user flow that we have. Design how you want it to interact with it. They'll still have to like actuate with each other, because it may not. This is a bit how a UI designer is thinking about it. How a UX designer, they have to find a common ground. But anything that has to do with what you are saying is a UI work. Anything that has to do with what you're saying was a UI work. And so a UI job includes the following: the look and feel, customer analysis. I mentioned customer analysis before, design research, which is also part of UX, branding and graphic development, user guides and storyline, how to tell a story, UI prototyping, interactivity and animation, adaptation to all device screen sizes. You have to adapt. So when you design on a desktop, you design on tab and phone and watch. And implementation with developers, they have to make sure that they are passing the
It's 18 hours.
Sorry, that's my laptop telling me the time. Implementation with designers, so they'll be able to hand off the design well. Handing off to developers is another topic on its own, because it's wide. And as you design, you learn. Well, you shall make sure that you're handing over everything that they need to make sure that the design that you're passing is correct, is well developed. That is what UI design is all about. So we've talked about UX design, and we've talked about UI design. So I have a quick question, which Emmanuel will quickly drop the link for us. And the question is, do you need to learn to code to be a good designer, either a UI designer or a UX designer or a product designer or a graphic designer? Of course, a graphic designer cannot even think of learning how to code. Do you think you need to learn how to code to be a good designer? Yes or no? So let's quickly attend to that. I don't want to discuss.
I've dropped the link already.
All right, so please let's quickly attend to that as fast as possible. Yes. We have 3 minutes for that. 3 minutes for that. Okay, so I'm expecting 20. Let's be fast with that. If it's no, please vote it. Let's say I want to have everything visualized for us. Okay, this is just 10. We have 24 people on the chat. Let's contribute, please. Let's contribute. When is at 15, I will just move ahead. But we have 13 now. Why are we not engaging? Okay, fine. Okay, so we have 73%. They said that no, you don't need to learn how to code to be a good designer. And 27% says that you have to learn. You have to learn to code to be a good designer. Okay. So it's like we have about 10 to 5 or about 11 to 14. About 11 to 4 people saying yeah and no and yes. Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Yeah. Okay, so the answer, I don't have a particular answer for it, to be candid. I don't have a particular answer. But the one thing that you should know is that you don't have to learn how to code to be a good designer. You don't have to. But that doesn't mean it's not a plus. Where I work currently, there have been situations that a developer will be telling me that they cannot make this work. But because I've done front end before, I will tell them that no, if you use this, I may not have the full idea in my head, but it's not as if I don't know how to I've not tried it before. So it's going to be an added advantage. You don't need to even add it to your CV. It's just going to help with the implementation. If you don't know how to code, don't bother to go and start learning how to code, because I believe that you've not even exhausted what you need to learn about design that you want to go and learn how to code. It's not a requirement. It's not a necessity. It's just a bonus. It's like a bonus to your stuff. Sometimes just for personal use or something. So you don't have to learn how to code to be a good designer. But if you want, you can. It's not a requirement to be a good designer. I want you to know that it's not a good requirement. But it's not a good requirement. Doesn't mean that you should not learn how to collaborate with developers. That's a different thing. Because sometimes when I was working in my previous place of work, I would go and do screens. Hey, Chimo, one calendar, I can't forget one calendar screen that I did one time. This thing was like these colors and dates and all those stuff. Actually, I was deceiving myself because there is no engineer that is ready to do that. They said they cannot do it. It's not possible. So you need to learn how to collaborate. That means before you bring out that beautiful idea that is not in the system before you bring it out of your head, you want to go and meet the lead developer or the team leader. Is this possible if I put this calendar, like you can do a sample or a sketch for them? Is it possible? Can you guys code it? You may want to cajole them because they may want to be lazy, but you're not going to give room for laziness. You can even start with, I know this is possible, I just want to check with you also, so that it won't take so much time. You know how to put it down so that they will try and do it. They will put all their effort in doing it. But that doesn't mean that you want to go and do something and then I have to redesign the page. No, I didn't redesign the page. But I just told them that since they can't do what I asked them to do, they should go and do whatever. But it's not always like that. You cannot always be privileged like that, because I was the lead designer, so it was easy for me to do strong end. So just because you don't know how to code doesn't mean you should not learn how to collaborate with developers. But coding for a designer is not a requirement. Okay, moving on. So the next thing we'll be checking is principles of design. Principles of design. You need to have this if you want to be a good designer, especially if you want to be a good UI designer. You need to know principles of design, because it's going to help you design better, and you won't start creating confusion from left to right for your users. The first principle of design is alignment. So what is alignment? Principle of design generally is what principle, now we know what principle is, a guideline to design, like a path to design. You're not enclosed, nobody's enclosing you. It's just that you don't start doing whatever you want or something, and then it's not bringing out the results that you want. So it's just like a guideline. You can be creative around it because it's so flexible enough for you to be creative around it, so you don't confuse yourself. The first one is alignment. Alignment is giving ordered appearance to your images, shapes, blocks of items by eliminating elements placed in a disabled manner. What am I saying? You want to design, I want to do left align, I want to do right align. Let me show you one thing. Let me show you a design. Oh, I have to wait for Figma to load. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about what you want to, why alignment is very important when you are designing, when alignment is super important. I want to show you what nice alignment is, and then I will now show you but I will now use that as an example of what a bad alignment can be. But then the network is fucking us up. Oh, okay, so there are 3 types of alignments. For horizontal alignment, a vertical alignment, we have the left aligned, which is aligning to your left. We have center aligned. We have right aligned. Left aligned is you're starting whatever you're designing from your left to your right. Center aligned is you're centering all your content to the center, and then you have right aligned. Except Arabic, I've been looking for a way to actually make this work. I think some people have actually made it work, writing from right to your left. I think it's only Arabic that does that, but feel free to, do your right alignment. That means you're writing from your right to your left. Yeah, which is possible. But here, this one is okay. This particular is left aligned. That means they are writing from the left to the right. We are backing for takeovers, orders only. That is alignment. It creates a sharp ordered appearance for ultimately better design by ensuring your various elements have a pleasing connection with each other. Center, right, or left aligned text is the most common, but you can also align text to other objects in your graphics. If something looks not quite right in your design, check your alignment. Let me now show you what I want to show you. I think this has load. About why alignment is very important. You don't want to go and fuck yourself, your own design up by using multiple alignments at a time, in a section of your design. Okay, so let's say for instance now. Oops. Okay, so you see that I'm doing left align. I'm starting from right to the left, and from right to the left, and from right to the left. Let me now change one particular element there and make it center. Okay, let's now say that this thing is starting from the edge here, and I put it here. It's going to look like, why is this one here? It's questionable. It's not going to look terrible as well, but it's going to be like, it's questionable. People start asking you questions like, why do you put it there? Why do you put it there? Because it's going to like mess up the whole design. And then this is the center alignment and all those stuff. That doesn't mean that you cannot mix alignment in your design. That doesn't mean you cannot mix alignment. But when you are mixing alignment, you make sure that in section by section, when you leave the first section, which is like left alignment, and then the next one you want to do center alignment, it's fine. You can do that, but not in the same session that you now do one left alignment, one right alignment, one center, and then another center. I saw one horrible designer. I can't find it right now. That the person centered title, so it's like creating dots and it's like center aligned, and the person now the text that I want to put on there, you now make it left aligned. So it's going to it's going to mess up the whole design that you're trying to do. Let me show you an example. Let's say we create a frame, and then you have I like design. Okay, cool. Let's now say center aligned, and then you have a text. Let's give that one like visual pro. Let's now make it like 20. Maybe 45, and then let's change it to regular, and then you put this one at the center. Let's now populate this. Okay, I'll change it to. I want to try and populate it for you. Okay, cool. And then you have like this. Oh, what is happening? Okay, so this is in the center, right? You now put this one here. This one is in the center. No matter how fine your design is, people start wondering that what are you doing that you're putting like the center? The alignment is not in order. So if you want to do it now, you put this one at the center, you do like this. It's going to really make a lot of sense because people are reading it center. It's like center, everything is center. Or you can put this one as a left alignment and put it here, and then you have this one here. It's going to be like, what the fuck is this one doing? So that is what it's going to be. You have to make sure that you're aligning it properly. And then you have repetition. Repetition is strengthens the design by tying together otherwise separate parts, and as a result, create association. It creates a rhythm, strengthens the overall design by tying together consistent elements such as logo, colors, and it helps people remember your brand or other important information. Repetition is just that you are consistent. That's the word, consistency. In this app, and you know you are the one that designed it, and then in another app you're using another font or another color. It's like this is completely different. So let's say, for example, this design now, this is the font I'm using. If you come to this place, I'm using the same font, right? So it's like this is the same, and I'm using the same logo and the same color, and it's like creating a consistency in your design. Once you start using like 24 fonts on your design, one page you have 2 fonts, another one you have another font, that's like totally rubbish. That's like you have to make sure that the repetition is okay. That means it's not like you're boxing yourself. You're making sure that people know that they're still on the same page. This is still the same thing. This is still on the same website, just different page. Like going to Carrywise website, they have their logo. The color is the same thing throughout the whole design. Even on their dashboard or their mobile app, it belongs to the same thing. They're using the same font. Their email, the emails they send are using the same font. The logo is the same logo and all those stuff. It creates association. And then we have the third one I'm trying to watch, contrast. Contrast is created when 2 elements are total opposites. For example, big, small sizes, classic and contemporary fonts, thin, thick lines, cool, warm colors, dark lights, smooth, rough texture, horizontal and vertical. It is important design principle because it lets you draw out the most important element of a design and hard emphasis. That means this is just contrast. It's normal. It's like if you want people to see, if you have a black background and you want people to see what you're writing, you're not going to start writing with black text too. You have to write it a contrast. Something that contrast means something that is going to show on it. So when you're using a black background and you want to use a white text, you understand? When you're using a black background, you're not going to be using like a dark blue text because people are not going to see it. You have to make sure. So I use an example here. See, the text is white. We are using red on the black, is obvious. Assuming this black man is here now is another problem because it's only the color that we're going to see. You have to make sure you have contrast, which is also contemporary and classic fonts. Classic fonts means if it's fashionable fonts, then you want to use a contemporary one with it, which is an example of what I showed here. See, I'm using like contemporary fonts, which is the same font with this. This is the same font. And then I have this classic fonts, you understand? Then you are not going to use one stylish, which is classic font, and use another stylish. You are creating chaos in your design. You have to make sure you're not creating chaos. You have to maintain it and make sure the contrast is okay. Dark lights, smooth rough, cool warm. You are balancing it together. And then we have hierarchy. Hierarchy is like organization. It's like a visual organization of your design. That is, you want people to see one thing more than the others before they see another thing, before they see another thing. It's just like organizational ranking. There's VP, there's president, come to senators and all those. So we are creating ranking. There are some things that are important under your design that you want people to come to. I'll still go back to this design. I want people to know that I'm building awesome products more than I want them to know my name, because my name is not going to bring me money unless they know what I'm doing. In this situation, what I'm doing is more important than my name. You understand? Like that is an example of what I'm talking about. Hierarchy. You have to create hierarchy. This is an example. You will read this first. They are right because that was the first thing I read first. Then you will read this, yes, of course, and you will read this, and then this one. This is the tiniest one. This is the tiniest one, and then followed by this. They created hierarchy. If you are making all your fonts big, people will start getting confused and they are not making any sense. And then we have proximity. Proximity helps in creating relationship between similar and related elements. These elements need not to be grouped. Instead, they should be visually connected by way of fonts, color, and other stuff. So this one is just proximity is just like creating pattern with either color or font. People will group them. See, even if they don't have the intent that this is a line, I already picture, because it's the same color, I'm already drawing a line here. I'm already visually drawing a line here. I'm already visually separating this one because of the proximity. Even the spacing they're using to cause proximity, it can be colors. I'm already creating like a slanted row box here because it's the same color. I'm creating like a triangle here because it's the same color. So that's contrast. You can create it with sizes, you can create it with font, you can create it with space or anything. It's helpful in creating organization in the design. And then color is a perceivable characteristics of light. Light is an energy, so color is a form of energy. A well-considered color palette can upgrade a design from good to great. Color is a powerful design principle because it helps you communicate on emotional and subconscious level. We all know when I want to go for a burial, I'm not putting on red though, because red is like excitement, strength, law of energy. It also applies to design. When you're trying to communicate something, you know the color that you're using to blend. You want to read about theory of color because it's another theory on its own. But me, I don't read any theory. When I want to design for clients, I'll probably ask them that, do you have a logo? And from the logo, I pick my color. Or didn't you have any color? And then I talk about the product that they are trying to build. So what is important in that product? Is it trust? Is it money? Is it growth? Is it energy? Is it excitement? Then I will come here and know the color. But that doesn't mean I know the shade. This is just like, okay, I know it's red that I'm going to use, but it's not going to be like this pepper red. I'm going to go and look for another red that is like cooler or something, but I know the color that I'm using. It's just that I don't know the shade yet. It's not this the one shade of yellow that we have. We have numerous shades of yellow. And then moving on, the last one, this is not it's not just 3 principles. We have a lot of principles, but this is the first. This is just something that I'll be treating in this class. White space is area between design elements. It's also the space within individual design elements, including the space between typography. Despite its name, white space doesn't need to be white. Please note that it may be any color, texture, pattern, or even a background image. White space is just a place that you do not put a lot of elements. It's just plain, no text, nothing. So it's not just about white. It can be white, of course, but it's not just about it can be green. If this whole place is green background, it can be green. So it's just to maintain balance. You're not choked up. Me, I was telling my friend one day, and I saw one guy with one afro head, and I was like, I don't like this thing, and I don't know why. And the guy told me it's because of white space, because I feel like the thing is too jam packed, and there's no white space. And if the person has actually like cut style, I would have liked it more, because I feel like, okay, there's breathe or something. Subconsciously, I'm already judging someone's hair because of my design background. I think white space is very important in your design. This design is better than this design. Don't mistake. White space is not a waste of space. Don't let anybody convince you. Don't let anybody change your perspective. Let your design breathe. Yeah. So the first task that you'll be doing is you create a document, analyze all the design goals and terminologies that you know. So this is like 2 things: design goals that you know, product design, information design, this one, and explain it, and the terminologies of design that you know as well, and then you explain it. That's task 1. So I don't know if you have any question. Is there any question? Is there any question? Okay. So my next question is for us now, so that yes, the material will be made available. Of course, the material will be made available. So my next question is going to be tricky, but I want 6 people to quickly talk about it. How much do you think a designer earn per month? So you talk about junior designer that you earn between this range and this range, intermediate and senior. So I want about 5 people to tell me how much they think a designer should earn per month. So you are telling me 3: the junior, the intermediate, and the senior. So anybody? I want about 5 people to come. All right. Funnel, tell us as quickly as possible. So please, others, let's raise our hand. I would call you. Some people are just quiet weirdly here. Okay. Oh yeah, funnel.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. So enjoyable and everything. Okay, for the junior designer, I think for a start you should be earning between 150 to 200. That should be for junior designer. And then for an intermediate designer, your earn should be between 200 to, let's say, 400.
For
Then
intermediate, abi?
yes,
Okay.
intermediate. Then for a senior designer, we can say from, let's say, 600, or let's say 500 and above. Any amount can from there,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
nothing less than 500K.
Yes, of course, I agree with you. Roots, Agbo, you raise your hand and you remove your hand again. Please, can you speak up? Naira for now. Roots, are you there? I don't know why Kate is using his hand. Are you a designer? Kate, please. How much do you think the designer should earn?
I think Ruth is talking. I don't know.
Roots,
She,
I can't
yeah.
hear.
Okay. Okay. I'm just speaking from experience from I think places that I work. Basically, I think for a senior product designer, right, who
Yeah.
is happening to be quite experienced, I think
Mm-hmm.
my friend is collecting about 1.8 million, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
Ada.
and someone like a mid-level, right, for working in an African setting, companies that are startup, you should be earning like nothing less than from 500, 400,000, and junior designers, right, and
Mm.
within the range of 200. But still, right, I've seen someone who is earning even above 2 million. So it all depends on
In
the
Nigeria, Nigerian company. Please,
no, no,
Nigerian company.
no.
No, I know that you are out of this of our own territory here in Nigeria, but please come to Nigeria. 2 million.
Yeah, no. In Nigeria, the highest I have seen so far experience is around 800. Yeah,
800.
800.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Yeah, thank you. Bright. Good. I'm still expecting you to talk. Oh.
Okay. For me, the list starting from UIS intern. A UIS intern is supposed to be making at least from 50 to 80K. Then a junior designer with at least up to a year or two years of experience is supposed to be making at least 150 to 200. Then in mid level, is supposed to be making at least 300. Then for a senior designer, it's around 800.
600.
No, 800, 800.
800. Okay. Wow. We are big numbers here. Roots, I'm still waiting for you. I really want to hear from a girl, please. I don't know. Am I the only girl here? Please don't make it like that. I've heard Elizabeth. Are we just two? Abigail, are you there? Like some people do not want to talk. Abigail, are you there? Elizabeth, please go for it. Thank you for coming to the rescue.
Okay, so I would say for a junior designer or as a junior designer, I don't think one should be earning less than 200,000. Why for a senior designer, I would say minimum should be from 350,000. Yeah,
Okay. What of senior?
that's why I said senior. Junior should minimum should be 200,000.
We have senior, we
For a
have junior,
junior,
intermediate.
okay.
Yeah.
For an intermediate, I would say okay. Intermediate, I would say 300, and then for a senior designer, I would say 400. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, thank you so much. We've all called big numbers, but the reality is that as a junior designer, you may not earn up to 200K. You may not even earn up to 100K. When I got my first job, the man was saying, I should not label myself junior designer. Don't worry. Just come. We'll pay you. He was paying me 70K. And I'm telling you, I was in the work of a senior designer at that time. He was paying me 70K. What is interesting about being a junior designer is that you don't remain a junior designer forever. Junior designer, you may get like a very low money, like a very low amount if you are coming right from maybe a bootcamp or an internship position. It may just be 70K or 60K or even 50K. I don't want the junior aspect to some people get so tangled there that they are looking for you are on Twitter God. Twitter can make you think that 1 million naira per month is a small money. Don't let them deceive you. As a junior designer, you may not earn up to 100K, but the truth about it is that you don't remain a junior designer. You grow. And being a junior designer is the place for you to grow. Number one, there's no pressure. Nobody's expecting too much stuff from you. That gives you a lot of gun for you to learn, to get to know designers, senior designers, and learn from them. But when you get intermediate, don't take nonsense again. I will allow you to take nonsense for junior because it's hard to get junior post. So no startup, especially startup, want to employ any junior designer. Nobody. They want experience. Everybody wants experience. You must be experienced. You must know Adobe, no Figma, no Clinical, no Clinical. You see all the requirements, and then you see the amount. You see like 150K or something. So when you get an opportunity to be a junior designer, don't be so concerned about the money. If they can give you enough money for you to transport yourself to and fro, it will be nice, right? But that time is when you put all your ability to strive to live that role. I've seen people that they were collecting low amounts as a junior designer, and when they wanted to transition from being a junior designer to an intermediate designer, they are experiencing like multiplied by 5 of their salary or multiplied by 7 of their salary. That's how magnificent it can be. So as a junior designer, there is no cut. It can go as low as possible. Just look for the one that pays you and learn and open your mind. Learn from people. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be really nice. But as an intermediate designer, don't collect less than 300K. Don't collect less than 250K. Don't collect less than 200K. And then from there, upward. Don't come down again. But don't also let Twitter make you lose great opportunity because they start saying, I got one international job and they said they'll be paying me $. I'd be like, what are you using your life to do? Some of them are even lying, right? Some of them are lying. Nobody's giving them international job. They'll just make you go and overthink yourself. Sometimes just avoid the tech space of Twitter because it can be choking. It can be choking. Really, really choking. Some people will even say that. And LinkedIn, thank you. Some people will even say that they rejected the job because of work culture. They rejected the 1 million job because you'll be like, banana. So I want you to work yourself. Don't be distracted. Take nonsense as a junior designer. Take nonsense. Let people give you work that they themselves cannot do and do it with all your heart. And from there, you get to. Go. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was out for some time. A call came in. Okay, so and be open, take nonsense and be open to low income. And then the last part of this class, before I start giving us tasks, is design thinking process. This is where design starts. When you start thinking about the idea. Design thinking is a design methodology that provides a solution-based approach to solving problems. And then they are in 5 stages according to IDEO. I don't know the meaning of IDEO, but you can write it out. IDEO, we have 5 stages of design thinking, and they are iterative, right? You can go back and forth. You can move from ideate to empathize, and from empathize to ideate, and come back and all this stuff because they are very iterative. The first stage is empathize. Empathize. Empathize is very important. In order to create desirable products and services, you need to understand who your users are and what they need. who your users are and what they need. If you are designing for adults and you want to be disturbing yourself with color purple, color green, color yellow, you don't know who your users are. It's not as if the colors are not good. They will not see it. Some of them, they have color blindness. You have to know what your users are. You can just limit as black and focus your energy on something more important. That is like making the text bold and big and putting like a plus and minus box that can increase the size of the text. Those are those things. That is how you familiarize yourself with users. In order to get desirable products and services, you need to understand your users. And that is what is done in empathizing, knowing users. Knowing users. That is it. And knowing users can come in different stages. It can come by talking to your stakeholders. Stakeholders in form of the people, the person that gave you the job. Like, this is the problem that I want you to help me solve. You want to talk to the person to create expectation. What is the problem? So that you don't go and solve the problem that is outside of the scope of what you want you to stop. And then after that, you can start talking to the target audience, your potential users. Like, you want to solve a problem of ordering for food and not getting it delivered. You want to talk to people that you think they are potential users of ordering for food. Yeah. What are the expectations in relation to the products you are designing? You need to know the expectation. I talked about stakeholders. What challenges and pain points do they face within the context? You want to talk about competition analysis as well. That is understanding your user. What is going on? You want to design a fintech product. What are the fintech products that are already existing? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? So that you can learn and you can beat them to market, right? So that is empathizing. You have to understand the pain points of your users. If it's like a food app that you are designing, what are their pain points? The delivery guy is always like eating their food or something. You have to know their pain points. And the only way to know their pain points is to empathize with them. Empathizing is not sympathizing. Empathizing is putting yourself in the shoe of the person. Sympathizing is start pitying them. No, you're not pitying them. You're just putting yourself in their shoe. Putting yourself in their shoes, asking them questions, making them do stuff and other stuff. We'll go in depth into it later. And then the second stage is define stage. This is when the person gave you a problem. You have a problem or an idea in your head before, and then after user research, the define stage is for you to put all the information that you've gotten from empathizing with them and putting them together to analyze your observation and synthesize. At this point, you may redefine the problem. So it's okay for you to redefine the problem. Let's say the problem that they gave you is for you to deliver food, to be delivering food. And then after empathizing, you realize that that is not even their problem about. It's not the delivery guys that is the problem of the users. It's the people that are cooking the food. So you can redefine the problem here, that, or you can even add it to it. After the user research, I realized that about 90% of people blame the lack of good food on the people preparing the food, not on the delivery guys. So the problem statement now is this and this and this and this. So at this point, you have a proposed solution. So from your research, you know the solution. So the solution may be, the solution statement is to create an app for restaurant to be able to put the number of fish that is remaining, the number of meat that is remaining, and other stuff. At this point, that is when you define your problem statement and your proposed solution, your solution statement. So this is where you analyze your observation and synthesize them in order to define the core problems that you and your teams have identified up to this point. You should seek to define the problem as a problem statement in a human-centered manner, not blowing grammar. Now you want to break it down. There's one website I saw. We are integrating the clinical. We are coming. No, it's maybe that they are giving people. You can buy something and split it into small. You can tell it now. The problem is that people don't have the ability to split their money to small. They do. So you have to be plain and in a human-centered manner so that it's understandable and it's not like English speaking stuff. And then the next stage is ideate. Ideation phase is a judgment-free zone where the group is encouraged to venture away from the norm, explore new angles, and think outside the box. So you have the problem now. Now you want to think outside the box. Like, you want to explain the angles and this is how we can solve this problem. And then here is also where you get to do the user flow. And then we have the problem, we have the solution. This is how people will interact with our system. This is you can start sketching out your problem, think outside the box, and all those stuff, explore things. Remove that idea that you have before in your head, remove it, and use the idea that we've gotten from empathizing and defining the problem now to explore and think outside the box. You will hold ideation session in order to generate as many ideas as possible. So you are not the only designer in your team. You can gather out the designer and they give you ideas on how to solve the problem that you've been able to identify from your empathizing. And then you gather of whether they are visible or not, gather all of them together, and then now removing, okay, this is not visible at this point, this is not visible, this is must have, should have, may have, or something nice to have, or all those stuff, and split it like that. And then the fourth one is prototype. A prototype is like you design it on your website, on your design tool, and then you already put all the buttons and the colors and the images together. That's prototype. You prototype it so that people can use it. You can bring it to the aim of prototyping stage is to turn your ideas into something tangible, people can be tested, and then you test. We not even talk about handing over at all here. Test is that you give people prototype. You can present it to stakeholders. That is testing too. Present it to stakeholders and they interact with it and all this. So we have to make sure that the prototype is very clean. Prototype cannot just be, it's not only digital prototype, right? It can be paper prototype. Paper prototype is another, it's very crazy. I don't know if you have the time to talk about it in this session, but yeah. And then you test the prototype that you already designed, you put it in front of people to use, and then you make any adjustments. And mind you, this is not like a fixed stage. You can do to and fro from hypothesize, come to ideate, and then back and other stuff. Be free to like explore from one place to another, and then after testing you can go back to redefining your problem again and other stuff. So that is the end of our session today, and I'll quickly take another question before I tell you the tasks, which is like going to be the 4 tasks for the session.
Okay, somebody raised his hand. Adiola, there's a hand up. I don't know whether
Okay, yeah, we're going to take question after everything. I just don't want to just pen it down. I don't want to lose the track of what I'm saying. I'm going to attend to the question, of course. Yeah, Adela, please.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so the next question that we're going to quickly go through, I don't want the people that we used to have. We know our gym designers. Please let everybody feel free to talk right now. I want to get new voice. I want to hear new voice. When do you think you become a senior designer? When do you think you become a senior designer? When do you think you become a senior designer? So, when do you think you become a senior designer? It may be years of experience, maybe number of projects that you've done. Just tell me, when do you think you become a designer? Please answer, please. Okay. All right. Funnel. Please, let's raise our hand.
Okay. I think for you to become a senior designer should be judged based on the number of projects you have done and if the project was able to solve the particular problem. How many projects did you do that were able to solve a
So
particular
what do you
problem?
think is the benchmark for how many
Well,
projects?
I don't think there should be a particular how should I put it? It should just be that okay, now you have done designs that have solved problems. So yes, and you
You have to be
understand what
specific,
design
right?
means.
I want you to be specific.
Okay,
What's the number?
let's give it let's say 5 to 8.
8 projects that you've done that makes you a senior developer designer, right? 5 to 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 5 to 8.
Thank you. It's a bad project for you, Johnson. Next.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Okay. I think for one to be called a senior developer, such a person must have built
Designer,
a
not developer.
okay, designer, pardon me. I think such a person should have built a really large portfolio. I
Of how many
think
projects?
so. No, a senior developer should have
Hello.
nothing less than 20 projects. Can you hear me?
Yes, nothing like that 20, Abi.
Yes, and not just any projects that are recognized with good user, or should I say customer recommendations. Such a person should
Okay,
have recommendations that verify the fact that okay, this person did this job and I liked it.
okay.
A
So
lot
like
of persons can populate their portfolio with should we with maybe tutorials,
20,
tutorial projects and all those stuff, but we're talking about real life
coaching,
uh
like use case study.
engagements.
Like
Yes,
okay, I get
engagements
that.
where you had it. Yeah, so I think with that you should do
Like 20. Okay.
like 20 like that.
Thank you. And Bright.
Okay,
Bright.
thank you. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. To me, the senior developer should be
Designer.
seen as okay. Sorry, a senior designer should be seen as a senior designer based on the number of years of experience and based on how many life projects they have been involved in, how many life projects they have actually worked for and gotten as far as to a certain amount of users, and the users are actually happy about the product and actually giving good feedback. So based on how many years of the experience and based on
Like
how
how many
many
years of experience?
okay, to me, I don't really see it anything between 15 years of experience as long as you have
15.
enough
Jesus.
Okay, 15. I accept.
anything between 15 and as long as you have enough projects that are live to
In
prove
15
your
years, if you don't have
experience.
enough footage, you need to go and put your head inside the River Jordan. I'm telling you.
It's not
15.
just any project now, it's like successful project that are, like
It has to be
far like
successful. What are you not using
oh,
your life to do? I understand you perfectly. Thank
all
you
right,
so
yeah,
much.
okay.
Yeah, Daniel.
Okay. Oh, this guy, I'm just laughing. 15 projects. Okay. And to me, actually, I think when you reach that level, that you have self-confidence, it might
Okay.
be it might be 3 years or 5 years, and you've developed strong projects. So you can see
Okay.
yourself as a senior designer. Not necessarily you must develop like 10 projects. There are
So it
there are
must
some
be
set
like something from your mind, Abby, like your self confidence.
And also you can design like two strong projects that is even way more than 10 projects that some people will design. So it just depends on how if you feel confident, if you see any job as a designer senior, you can apply. You get it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Elizabeth.
Okay, so I want to get the question correctly. Are you saying to be a product designer or a senior
When do
product
you
designer, what
become a
project?
senior product designer? When? I mean,
Okay,
maybe
when?
project experience, anything you want. Oh, I think she dropped off. Maybe when she's back. So to me, right? When do you become a senior product designer? Well, I've been looking like 4+ years of experience. In fact, five plus of experience. And in like 5+ years experience, you cannot produce 10 projects that you've done. I don't think you have 5 years experience. But you're just kidding yourself, or you're counting it from when you're in school. So I think like 5+ years of experience is what you call yourself a senior designer. Designer is by experience, so it's not by number of projects. And you gather experience over time. You gather experience over time. I just see a lot of people, someone that when did you become a designer? 1 year ago, is already putting SNR, product designer, in front of their name. Okay. I believe okay, Elizabeth, do you want to go for it now?
Okay, sorry, my network has been acting up since.
No, no.
Okay, so where was I said? Okay, so you may have like 5 years, 7 years of experience, and then at the end of the day, when you're asked to actually show what problems you've solved or projects that you've done, you realize that you may have not been able to come up with a lot of projects. So I just believe being able to work on a very major problem or solving a very major having solution to a major problem makes you to be a senior product designer. So it's not about the experiences, and it's not basically also about how many projects you've done or how many solutions you've been able to. Yeah, solving a lot of solutions really matters too. But if you're able to actually come up with one major solution that actually solves a lot of problems, I think that alone makes you a senior product designer.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's actually a point too that it doesn't matter the number of experience or so, or the number of years of experience or the projects. But I always give myself personal benchmark. Someone mentioned confidence in yourself, which is actually playing a great deal in it. Is that you have to have personal confidence in yourself. Myself, I think that because before I can call myself a product designer, I will have currently I have 10 projects or so. But I'm talking about experience, five, four or something before I can call myself, because I think experience is very important. You can't because experience in design is different from theory that you already know. When you start seeing users, when you are measuring metrics, and you're seeing users using your product somehow, when you put the button there, you're clicking up, you start noticing that it's not about the number of projects that you've done. It's about the experience that what you get over time. You know that this button must be very obvious for them to know that it's actually a button, because you be like, can't you see? When we did our usability testing in my company one time, I was just angry. I put the button there and you can see it now, and you're still asking, and excuse me, where's the button? You must be kidding me. This is the button here. So I feel like experience plays a good deal in becoming senior designer. But I understand you should have a personal confidence of what you are able to do. And yeah, so we have come to the end. Let me just explain our task to us. Task 2 is that you talk to 4 people and have them explain how they make their bed and what they hate about making their bed, and document your research. I'm expecting this in a document, preferably Notion. I like Notion. So you talk to, you can even watch them, just choose anyone, can watch them make their bed and write it down they made their bed. Or you can let them explain to you how they made their bed or something. Or for 4 people. So I'm expecting the Notion file with 4 people. So for the first one, maybe Emmanuel, it's gonna be how the person made their bed, and then explain the process, and then what they hate about making their bed. And then if you're observing them, you can write another subheading called observation, what you observed. It's different from what they say. It's always different. When we get into user research, we talk about it, what people say and what they actually do, and how to write the right user. I just want to give you a taste of what user research can be. So talk to them how they made their bed. Making a bed is very difficult. I hate it. I like it. I don't know. Write a 2-page document on how to create a user research plan document. User research plan document. You have to make a research. So you come back with, it may not be just write a document anyhow on how to create a user research plan document. Please notice this: user research plan document, how to write it. It's very important. Browse it, read about it, watch video about it, just okay. And then think about an idea we can turn to a project for the bootcamp. So starting from Friday, we'll start working on a particular project. So inside the same document, write down an idea you think we can work on so that we can do the user research and design it and everything. So that is what we'll be using generally for it. So inside the same document, let me see our tax one. The tax one inside the same document, the tax one, which is create a document and highlight all the design goals and terminologies that you know inside the same document, because it's just one document that is submitting. I use Notion. Talk to 4 people and explain how they make their bed. Also, will be inside that document, and write a document on how to create a user research plan. And then the 4th one, you write idea for the bootcamp and write it there. So that is the 4 tasks that you'll be doing. And I set submission latest before class on Friday. So if you want me to review it, I will suggest you submit it maybe latest by afternoon on Friday, so I can review it and review it personally. Anything latest by 2 hours to the session, I may not have time to review it. And then these are all the reading lists that you can use to learn in depth of what we just talked about today, and to really help you. And I will share these documents. I will download it and send it to Kate. You know how to make it available to everybody, and I know that and to help you to actually sync all the information that we've learned today. Yeah, so that will be all. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand so that I'll quickly attend to it, because we don't have time again to be done. Okay, what is Notion? Notion is like Google Docs where you write documents. So just buy Notion and you can create a document. How do we submit? Create a Notion file and put all your assignment there. Just one Notion file. Share it with me as a link. So this is how you share. This is what you've created. This is how it is going to show, right? This is what you've created. You come here, share, right? Click share to web. You on it, and then you give me any permission that you want, and then you can copy the link and send it to my email or something. I just want to leave the whole submission because maybe a Google Docs, Google form that Kate wants to send or something. Just make that the link is available, and then we'll communicate how you are going to submit it. Is this class for beginners like me? I have no knowledge. Yes, it's for beginners. I mean, yes. Okay, so any other question? Someone was raising his or her hand the other time. I don't know who that person. Okay, I believe that the silence means there is no question. All right. So I'm cutting over to you.